Morning. So we are going to get started right away. It's 11:01. My name is Fatou Cisse. I am the president of Caregiver All Things Alzheimer's and also owner at Caregiver Home Care. Thank you so much for being here with us today. This means so much to me that you all are choosing to spend your weekend with us. It truly meant a lot to me. Putting this event together, one of the things that I was thinking is that, oh, we're going to choose a weekend, and then all of a sudden we said we're going to have a 2-day event. I felt like that was too much to ask of people. But you all stand up for it. And we also wanted to make sure that we provide you with valuable information that is absolutely going to worth your time. And as I promised, you've seen that yesterday for those of you who have joined us yesterday, and we'll do the same today as well. November is Caregivers Month. So caregivers are really the true unsung heroes. They move mountains and they smile doing it. And yes, sometimes they cry doing it. And those are tears that are worth shedding. We honor them this month, but we honor them every day because they deserve our honor, they deserve our love, they deserve our support, and they truly deserve our appreciation. And we'll hear some of them throughout this session. We also know that in the United States, there is 65.7 million family caregivers. These are people who are caring for ill or older relatives. We owe them a whole lot of gratitude. And we'll see a few of them today who will share their journey with us and share their experiences as well. Like I said, this event had a really good team of organizers, and I want to highlight them as we go. The planning team is Catherine Bidwell, Susan Fraze, and both Catherine and Susan are on the Caregiver All Things Alzheimer's board. We also have Nima Java, Binta Cisse, Kathy Valls, Joanne Gruber-Hagen, Bannon Nuckinson, Joyce Smith, Karen Wheeler. I owe each and every one of them a debt of gratitude. Over the past several weeks, or even months, I should say, I've asked too much of them. We've met during lunch hours, during evening hours, on weekends, sometimes even on Saturday evenings. And I had to say, I'm sorry, I had to bring you on your Sunday evenings to spend it on this, but all to bring you the best of information as you walk your journey on this. So that was why we put this together for you. And I'm so appreciative that you all showed up to support it. So a little about Caregiver All Things Alzheimer's and the programs that we have. So our programs are threefold. One is caregiver training, one is adult day services, and the other is brain health and wellness. So it's more, the brain health and wellness is focused on just improving our own cognitions by doing activities that are brain stimulating. And our adult day services is for services that will only be people coming in from morning, people coming in from morning, let's say from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And our caregiver training, it's also the program where caregivers will get the training because we know caregivers need to be trained, and especially for family caregivers. The professional caregivers by default get training, getting into the care industry. That's unlike the family caregivers. There are many family caregivers that the role of caregiving falls on their laps. They had not planned for it, but maybe an illness arises, maybe an accident, and they step into that role with very little experience. Those are people we our resource panel. We know that resources are key in this. Caregivers need to know who to turn to for those support. And we'll hear from those panelists what is it there that they offer to our community that all of these caregivers can tap into. For those of you who also knew me, knows I have a keen interest in policy. So whatever I do, I try to put it in a little touch of policy because I know there is only so much lives that I can touch from the direct care. But when we work on things that are policy based, then the impact gets greater. And I've done some of this work in the last 7 years with the Alzheimer's Association as their ambassador, working to help on their policy priorities. Today, we will hear from our policy director, Mike, who will also tell us what is going on in the policy arena that we could do to help these folks. That is the families, the caregivers, and those who are actually dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia. Like I said, some of you probably heard yesterday, I mentioned that this is both personal and professional for me because personal because my own grandmother had Alzheimer's. She passed on years ago. Professional because I do this for work every time I see people dealing with it. These are times for holidays, and I've been reflecting on it a lot because holidays are tough time. A lot of times it's people coming from far from other states to visit with their parents, only to find out the person they've been talking over on the phone is not the same. Because when you're in the space, then you realize the differences. Families can be really, really tough. Holidays can be really, really tough for families. And as I was reflecting on it these days, I'm thinking how many families I've held, how many families I've hugged, how many families I've talked with. What an honor that is. And for all the families who have given me that privilege, I am deeply and truly honored. This year is different. COVID had made it difficult for us to hug, for us to be in the same space. And maybe some families will not see their families for Thanksgiving. It's hard. But we love and support and will offer our guidance to each and every one that we serve. And even those that are not our formal clients, we're here to help. And again, I want to thank you all sincerely for spending your weekend with us to learn about this, the things that are going on with research, how to better care for ourselves, which we need so much of. We never will have enough of self-care. And now we'll share the resources here in the area throughout Wisconsin. And you'll hear from the family caregivers, the true unsung heroes that are moving mountains. This summit have proven to be valuable. We've heard from aging departments across Wisconsin reaching out to say they have not heard prior to seeing our flyer and would like to get involved in the future. That is a true testament that this summit is taken to be valuable for those that are attending, for our community. And I want to sincerely thank you all for making it what it is. Thank you, and have a wonderful summit with us today. I'll hand this over now to Binta, who's continuing to be our host for the event. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Batu. And thank you for grounding us and starting us up this day, really grounded and really reflecting on why this whole summit is important and why we're sharing this space yesterday and again today. Testament that this is very important is why people decided to spend their whole weekend with us 2 days in a row. And we're utterly grateful to each and every one of you for signing in and spending time with us here. My name is Binta Cisse, and like she rightly said, welcome to day 2 of the Aging Well Summit. This is the first annual Aging Well Summit, Healthy Brains, Healthy Caregiving, promoting healthy aging, brain health, and amplifying caregivers' voices. Yesterday, we learned a lot about so many things, but among which that stood out was impact of COVID-19 on dementia patients, healthy brain aging, mindfulness in caregiving, and a lot about self-care and self-love as well. And so we want to thank all the speakers from yesterday, but we dive right into today. And just a rundown of some of the things that we're going to be hearing today, we're going to be sharing today is there will be a resource panel that kicks off shortly. This is going to be with the Alzheimer's Association. And then we would have Ms. Fabu Carter with the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Center. We'll have a resource panel with several people, Patricia Egan, Ms. Fabu Carter, and Alder Barbara McKinney, Wendley Betley, and we would also have a presentation on how do family caregivers think about quality of life. And we'll have a Q&A session, and this would be very interesting. We'll get into breakout groups. I know that was not very possible yesterday, but we will give it another shot today, and hopefully we'll kick it off today. We'll do a good job. We'll have a caregiver panel for like 45 minutes, and from actual caregivers, like Fatu just said, will be there to, get us through the day and explain to us how they do this amazing work that they do. And like she rightly said, these are our unsung heroes. So we would be in the presence of greatness today. And we'll have another mindfulness meditation for caregivers for about 20 minutes to end the day. So we thank you all for being here, and we would hand over to Bonnie Notkinson to facilitate the resource panel that we're just getting into right now. Bonnie is one of the team members, and she's also outreach specialist, Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Research Center and Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute. Over to you, Bonnie. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Binta. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. If you notice on the screen, it says I'm also Sandy Nutt, because I'm here with my mom. Mom, put your head in there to say hi. So there really are two of us here. Let's dive in and get started right away. So what we're going to do is each person on the resource panel, we'd all call on you, and then we'd love for you to introduce yourself and what your organization does to help people living with Alzheimer's and their families. So we'll just go in order that we have it on the agenda. We'll start off with Wendy Bentley from the Alzheimer's Association.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? I have a headset on because I have a lot of noise in the background, so my apologies if you hear some of that. But it is wonderful to be here today, and thank you, Patu and your committee for inviting us. It is your opening speech was quite inspirational, and I think reflects a lot of what we all see day in and day out. So I work for the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter. I've been with them for many, many years. The Alzheimer's Association actually is a national organization. So the care and support services I'm going to share a little bit about today is you can access this anywhere across the country. The efforts for the association, we have three main areas that we really focus on. And one is to accelerate research, drive risk reduction and early detection, and then maximize quality care and support. But the area that I work mostly on is the care and support. That's the side that drives me. That is where I feel where we do a lot of important and incredible work. As mentioned earlier, the work that caregivers and things that they have to deal with is incredible, inspiring to many of us. So I'm always grateful and honored to be able to be part of their journey, as well as able to offer any support that we possibly can. So the Alzheimer's Association offers a lot of different programming. We unfortunately, because of COVID, had to go virtual, but we've been able to provide all of our care and support services in a virtual capacity. It's not the same. We can't, hug, we can't, spend the time and hold hands when we're dealing some really tough situations, but at least we're able to be there, even though we can't do those things. So some of the services we provide is one, we do have a 24/7 helpline, and that's 1-800-272-3900. I really enjoy this 24/7 helpline just because it is accessible 24/7. Caregiving does not stop between 8:30 and 4:30. It continues. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. Things happen at 2 in the morning. Things happen at 1 in the afternoon. And this is a great resource for you to reach out to when you're dealing with some difficult or challenging situations, or if you're just looking for resources in your area. What's really nice is we're able to provide translation services in more than 170 different languages. So if you're speaking to someone who may only be speaking English, but you are speaking Spanish, we can connect you with someone who will be able to help you with that process. So we're able to meet your needs no matter where you are in that process. So care consultations. This is another service that we provide. This one's near and dear to my heart, something I've been working with for many years. It's an opportunity for myself and other professional staff to work with families one-on-one, to meet you on an individual basis, to understand what you are going through. Because as we've always said, when you meet one person with Alzheimer's disease, you've met one person with Alzheimer's disease. It's the same thing with families. They are always dealing with something a little bit different and unique. We all come from different backgrounds. So we do our best to try to meet you where you're at. These services, of course, right now are all virtual. So they can be telephone, they can be Zoom, they can be in any type of platform virtually at this point. What we're able to do is do a little bit of assessment of needs, assistance with planning and problem solving, and of course, providing supportive listening. We've been doing a lot of that, especially with the COVID. We've had a lot more challenges that families are dealing with, a lot more emotional issues that they're trying to, work through on their own. The support that they used to have when we weren't during COVID has changed considerably. So it's really been an honor to be able to be there for those families. What's also really nice is we've been able to help families across the country. We've actually done Zoom care consultations as well as phone conversations with families all together at one time. And we've had people living in Germany and other parts of the countries. We're able to connect them and have them involved in the conversation. I also want to let you all know that all of our services are at no cost. So we don't charge family members or persons living with to access our services. It doesn't make a difference who you are. We are here for you. We also offer education programs. We have our general awareness programs, healthy brain and body. We also have, understanding what Alzheimer's and other dementia is. But we also
Wendy, you're on mute.
Okay, I'm off mute. I don't know how I got muted, but
Okay.
I apologize. The technology world, right? So anyways, I was saying that we provide a lot of different education programs and our skill building classes for caregivers. This doesn't come with a manual, right? So if we're having challenges with behaviors, we have a class for that. How do we communicate? We have a class for that. So we offer a lot of different opportunities to build skills within the caregiving journey. We also, for those professionals online, we just released a new education program called Person-Centered Dementia Care. This is an actual virtual online program. It is basically for individuals who are working in assisted living, nursing homes, life plan communities, adult day centers, and hospice. You can access that on our website, which is alz.org, and click on professional education, and you will see that great opportunity. It's a 2-year certification. It's a wonderful program, and it's all focused around person-centered care. We also offer support groups. As many of the other agencies that you'll hear on this panel today, we do a lot together. And I want to step back and say thank you to all of those that provide services in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is really lucky to have us all together to be able to help support families during this time. So one of the things that we do is support groups as well. So we have over 80 support groups across the state of Wisconsin. Some of them are just general caregiver support groups, but we also offer specialized support groups. We have an all-male support group because, there's different challenges as being an all-male caregiver. We have an all-women support group. We also have a younger onset support group for individuals who are younger. We offer early stage support groups. So we have support groups of persons who are living with memory loss, as well as their caregiver. These are great programs to get involved in. It helps connect and understand what is all happening. We also have a frontal temporal dementia support group, which is actually run by a neuropsychologist that is on our board currently. It's a great program, very unique. All these groups provide not only support from the facilitators, but also the support that people gain from the participants in those groups. Last but not least, we also offer social engagement programs. Some of them are memory cafes that we coordinate with a lot of great organizations. Some of them are just little gatherings that we do. Of course, everything now is virtual. So we provide little gatherings via Zoom. And I want to say that's pretty much all. I mean, we do a lot. We have a lot of online resources. So if you're looking for a specific education program that maybe you can't attend that's scheduled, we have online education programs that you can have access to 24/7. We have chat rooms that you can access. And again, if you just don't know where to start or where to begin, please call our 800 number and someone will be able to help you with that. So that's pretty much sums it up. Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate it. And just so everybody knows, I did put the 1-800 number and the website in the chat. So now we'll go to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin. And joining us today is Elder Barbara McKinney and Jennifer Bauer. So Jennifer, if you want to go first, and then Barbara, if you'd like to share.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, FAT2, for putting on the summit this weekend. This has been a great pulling together of so many partners across the state that work in this field. It's been quite something to see everyone who's involved. I am Jennifer Bauer. I'm the Executive Director with Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance. We've been an organization in the state for over 25 years. Prior to COVID, and once we get back from the pandemic, we serve in person 15 counties and 6 countries. However, like everybody else, due to the pandemic, we've moved all of our programs and support groups online, virtually, and over the phone. Because of that change, that the one bright spot to that is we've been able to serve more people all over the state, as well as even folks outside of Wisconsin have been able to come into some of our programming, which has been really wonderful to see. As Wendy talked about, our services are also at no cost to the caregiver. We provide care consults that right now we're doing primarily over the phone or over a Zoom call. When the weather was a little nicer, we were able to meet with people in their yards, porch visits, but it's starting to get a little too chilly for that. During these conversations, we try to answer people's questions that they might have about their diagnosis, particularly when it's early on in their diagnosis. We also help to figure out what needs that someone might have and what resources we can help them get connected to meet those needs. A lot of times during those care consults, we're talking with families about when it might be time to look for supported in-home care, when it might be time to look for some type of facility care, how to review different service providers to find the right one to meet their loved one's needs. And then we also provide family and community education programs. Those again are all online. You can find our latest programs on, so as I was saying, you can find a current list of our community and family education that we're offering virtually right now on our website at alzwisc.org. We have a variety of support groups as well, and they are meeting now virtually. We also can help to call people into those meetings. Sometimes the technology can be difficult to manage. Even phoning in sometimes can be a challenge. So you can get a hold of us ahead of time and we can call you in to any support group or family and community education that you might be interested in. A list of our support groups are online as well. We have a toll-free number that you can call. Monday through Friday, it's answered during the day. It's just a helpline. It's not a hotline like the Alzheimer's Association. Our toll-free number is 888-308-6251. And then we also are participating in a variety of advocacy efforts, policy change efforts around Alzheimer's and dementia issues. Like everybody else, this is a topic near and dear to my heart as well. I've lost a grandparent with Alzheimer's, and currently my husband and his family and I are supporting my mother-in-law who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the last couple of years. So we're going down that journey as well as a family. Again, thank you for letting us come today and talk more about our organization. And I hope that you can just know that you can reach out to us at any time, and more than happy to help over the phone or on Zoom. And hopefully maybe this spring, summer, we get to start to see each other in person. As FAT2 so eloquently talked about at the beginning, this pandemic has been incredibly hard on everybody. And it's really brought out, I think, also everybody's best characteristics around different topics like Alzheimer's and dementia and caregivers. knowing and amplifying the voices of everyone that's out there. And so thank you for letting us be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm going to talk about just a little bit. Few of our participants were hacked, and that is why we're going through that. But I think we've got it sorted now, and we apologize for that. We'll have Alder Barbara McKinney right now.
Thank you so very much. And I add to the comments of my executive director. Something is zooming in my space. I add to the comments of our executive director. Thank you so very much for inviting us to be a part of this. Yesterday, I sat in all day long, and I was just so amazed. And in some places, I was drawn to tears about a caring community that's coming together to address the stigma of autism, of Alzheimer's. I am Barbara McKinney, and I am the diversity coordinator at the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. We are working to raise the awareness about the disease and the importance of research, education, and to also inform the community and to connect individuals with available resources. I'm here to talk about and we know what the statistics are. African Americans are it's the sixth leading cause of death in the United States, and it impacts African American population at a disproportionately higher rate than whites. And so what we are about is that our work is to reduce the stigma of the diagnosis of dementia and create safe spaces for those in our community to have those often lost freedoms and to restore dignity and hope along the dementia journey. And in that, we have developed what we call Diversity Thursdays. And in the Diversity Thursdays, it's Diversity Thursdays, and it is Brain Health Matters. So each first Thursday of the month, we have a segment and a series on Diversity Thursday series and Brain Health Matters. And we have covered such topics as the sandwich generation, advanced care planning, and social determinants of health, the caregiving journey, and the December 3rd series will be very, 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 very important because it is Jessie Kendall and her mother talking about their caregiving journey. Jessie will be sharing her experience and her mom's experience of being a caregiver in the sandwich generation and what it takes to be a caregiver. And so I would hope that you would join us on Thursday, December the 3rd. We'll put information in the chat so that you can sign up and enroll. As the diversity coordinator, as I said, our goal is to bring awareness to our communities about Alzheimer's. There's still a stigma related to Alzheimer's in our community. So we're building trust, we're building information and awareness. Caregiving is so very important, and specifically this topic because a very, very good friend of mine is now in care. And what she said to me, and I want to share this, is that she said, Barbara, she said, I've lost myself, and the fear is that I'll never find myself again. That is what some of our communities are going through. So as a diversity coordinator, taking that information removing some of the stigma associated with that, and having real conversations with caregivers about what they're going through. That's what Diversity Thursdays is all about, is giving a platform to talk about those challenges that we face, and sometimes we face those in silence. And the silence is perpetuated by the stigma that's associated with it. So, as diversity coordinator, I absolutely invite you to the Diversity Thursdays. And I also would like to invite you to the CAB. It's an organization of people who care about the impact of dementia and care about families and loved ones that's going through there. And so the Community Advisory Board is the African American Community Advisory Board, and we call it's the CAB, and we meet monthly, and we sit around and we talk about those issues that are impacting communities of color. And so we are specifically focusing on communities of color, but the CAB is open to anyone who cares about Alzheimer's, who cares about reducing the stigma, and want to be a part of the solution. So Jennifer has very aptly talked about the different programs that we do at the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin, but this is something that is added on, that we specifically look at those impacts in communities of color. One of the things, as I close, is the social determinants of health. In December, in November, we had a community worker who talked about the social determinants of health and how they impact our underserved communities. Yesterday, one of the presenters talked in depth about the social determinants of health and how they impact Alzheimer's and dementia. We'll be focusing on that in January, really talking about what those social determinants are. And I will just list them briefly so that you can start thinking about them. Social determinants of health, economic stability, education, social and community context, health and health care, neighborhood and the built environment. So critical, related to how we work and play and live in our society. So we ask that you please join us for the Diversity Thursday series, and those professionals that would like to present, we welcome you, because our goal, as I said, is the education of, let me specifically say it, is that our work is to reduce the stigma of the diagnosis of dementia and create safe spaces for those in our community who have often lost freedom, dignity, and hope along the dementia journey. We are committed to bringing awareness, education, resources, and support to communities of color. Thank you very much for allowing us to share.
Barbara, I did put the link to the diversity series in the chat, at least to the next one with Jesse.
Yes,
so
thank you.
I put that in the chat. And since we got started a little late with the panel, just so everybody knows, we're going to go a little later with the panel. Next up, we have Joy Schmidt from the Aging and Disability Resource of Dane County and Dane County Human Services.
Can you unmute? There we go. Okay, thank you. Thanks. So my name is Joy Schmidt, and yeah, here to talk today about the Aging and Disability Resource Center and what's available across the state of Wisconsin through our ADRCs. And I just, want to, echo, repeat all the gratitude that that's been here today. I feel so fortunate to live in this state, to live in Dane County. because we have so many wonderful partnerships. And so thank you to all of you who are a part of that. I'm really excited to hear about some of the programs that Barbara just mentioned. And I think we are, of course, living in a difficult time, but some really good things I think are coming from this, as well as we've woken up to the challenges that are out there. So I just, I'm really happy to be a part of this. Every county in the state of Wisconsin does have um, uh, the ability to connect with an aging and disability resource center. So some of the counties do share those, but just knowing that and maybe Bonnie can add this into the chat as well, how to locate your ADRC or Aging and Disability Resource Center. Within those organizations, and these are program through the state of Wisconsin. So even though they're specific to counties, it is a state-run program. And the whole goal of these services is to help individuals with disabilities and older adults connect to resources in an unbiased way. So we love our partners. To me, we need as many boots on the ground as possible. Thank you, Bonnie. Because unfortunately, we are seeing a rise in the number of folks living with dementia, but also along with other disabilities, other challenges, and the fact that we're aging as a society. I think encourage you to reach out to your ADRC. They can help with a lot of different things, and including future planning. I think a lot of us really don't think about the future. We don't realize what's going to happen to us as we age. And it's important for all of us to do some planning, to have our advanced directives in place, our power of attorneys. Those, I can't stress that enough. Now that I'm seeing the other end of crisis, folks who are in crisis due to dementia. But all of us need to be planning ahead. So that's one area that they can help with. But there's a huge gamut, whether that be transportation issues, whether you're dealing with nutrition issues, connecting to, home care agencies, maybe deciding that you do need more support in the home, and so again, I just encourage you to reach out to your local ADRC. We do have another dementia lead on the line today. Felicia Elias is the dementia lead for Dane County. But just to kind of explain what a dementia care specialist can do for you and for your family, we are there, again, throughout the journey. But it is not our intention to duplicate services. We're so lucky to have the Alzheimer's Association, the Alzheimer's Dementia Alliance, the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, and we do a lot of collaborating together, which I think is super important. We as dementia care specialists can provide memory screens. So if you have some questions, about yourself or your family member and want to get a baseline. We do provide these memory screenings in the community during normal times. We're out there. We're at libraries. We're at senior centers. We're out there providing them. Right now, because of COVID, of course, that's limited, but that will return. Currently, what we're doing during COVID is some limited visitation or meeting people in a safe place, or trying to do this via the phone or via Zoom or FaceTime, et cetera. So those options are available. Another big part of a dementia care specialist role is helping our communities to be dementia friendly. And so really getting the word out, trying to help people as they recognize the challenges that folks who are living with dementia face, but also to help them feel included, accepted, and a part of the community. So we're working with restaurants and stores and libraries to increase understanding of the needs of folks living with dementia. We also provide family support and education. Again, a lot of times we do that in collaboration with the association and the alliance. We at times will provide support groups depending again on the need. We did have a men's group because there was such a need. That one unfortunately has fallen apart due to COVID, but we are starting a mindfulness and dementia care support groups beginning at the first of the year. And we're going to be using this book, Caring for a Loved One with Dementia, a mindfulness-based guide for reducing stress and making the best of your journey together. So, so we do have that coming up. And we also are tasked with educating our information and assistance specialists to be dementia capable. So making sure that they have an understanding of what it means to have dementia, whether that be Alzheimer's, frontotemporal dementia, Lewy body, et cetera. And then I've actually taken a new position with Dane County Human Services, and we are replacing my previous position with another person. So to me, that's wonderful, more boots on the ground. But we're also trying to increase our dementia support for individuals who do end up in crisis, who maybe are either in the community or living in a facility and begin to have challenges because of their need to communicate and losing that ability, which then ends up causing sometimes some behavioral challenges. So we're working to rebuild our dementia support team. So fortunate to have Dr. Chin working with us on that. And then increasing that awareness within adult protective services as well. We're trying to help people stabilize in place because we know that ending up in Mendota Hospital or Winnebago Hospital is definitely not ideal. And so we're trying to, again, get in front of this, get ahead of this to support people and train staff in a person-centered way, supporting those behavioral support plans. And then there's always research. You know, we're always helping people become aware of the great research that's happening here. So it is a personal goal of mine to do a better job of reaching out. There are, the ADRC does help people connect to the long-term care programs. So if somebody cannot afford to pay for care, they can link up to either grants or these Medicaid funded programs. And that's the place that is the entry point to connect with folks there. So please feel free to reach out to let us know if you have additional questions. And thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you so much, Joy. And I did put the link to the book Joy mentioned in the chat. And then Barbara did put information about the City of Madison Employee Assistant Program for individuals who would like to look into that. And now we will hear from my colleague, Ms. Fabu Carter. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Fabu. And what I will do is go ahead and put the link to the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center in the chat and how to sign up for our newsletter and where to contact if you're interested in learning about research. But Ms. Fabu, please go ahead and introduce yourself and share about the Research Center.
Thank you, and greetings to everyone. I'm very happy to be here and to be partnering with you all today to talk about a very serious disease and also how we can help our community. So I represent the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, and what we're dedicated to doing is studying the causes, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of Alzheimer's disease. We're one of about 30 federally funded centers in the United States. So we're very fortunate to have one in Madison, Wisconsin. At our Madison Center, we have about 50 active research studies, 33 scientists. We have over 1,000 participants, and 25% are from underrepresented groups. So I am a senior outreach specialist for underrepresented groups. And all that that means are people who are traditionally not included in research are considered underrepresented. So that would be African Americans, that would be Blacks from around the world, that would be Spanish speaking people, that would be Native American people. So any people that would not be majority white would be considered in an underrepresented group. So I'm here today to talk about research, that aspect. And even as a caregiver, how being a participant in the research would be one, a very meaningful thing to do, but two, so often when I interact with people in the community, there's some concern about, am I losing my memory? What is normal aging? So one immediate benefit of participating in our research is that one, we need all kinds of brains, healthy brains, people who are struggling with their memory, people who have Alzheimer's disease. We can use all of that information, good information, in the study of the disease and in trying to find a cure. So one immediate result is that when you're in our study, we follow you closely every 2 years, and we're able to tell you, for the majority of the people, they are just experiencing normal aging. If there is another diagnosis like mild cognitive impairment or even Alzheimer's disease, then we are there with the resources immediately in terms of the medical community, in terms of getting you connected to so many of the partner organizations that we've already heard of in the conference. We're able to help you as quickly as possible. And with the disease, it is important to be diagnosed and to be taking medication and to be offering and availing yourself of the resources as soon as possible. So it's a wonderful position to be able to work with people in the community who are normally underrepresented in uh, Alzheimer's disease research. But as stated before, it's the underrepresented groups who lead in Alzheimer's disease. So it's very important to have all kinds of representation in the studies. And we are now doing the study by telephone. So we want to, we're still being careful as everyone else is about face to face, but there is the opportunity to be a part of the research and to do it by telephone. But again, I want to stress how wonderful it is, first of all, to be a part of finding what we hope is one day a cure for Alzheimer's disease. But our research participants are so important to us because we cannot do it without them. And you might be saying, well, I'm fairly young. We take people 40 years and up. So anyone can be a participant if they're age 40 and up. And Bonnie's already put the information about how you can contact us for the initial screening, and then we can get you connected to a coordinator. But it's really reassuring for us to be told, okay, this is normal aging, and but thank you again for being a meaningful part of the research. Also, what happens with the research, which is um, called African Americans Fighting Alzheimer's in Midlife. We have several research programs, but that's one of them, A Famed Rap, is that we help you to answer questions about your daily life and health. It's a visit to UW Hospital for a blood draw, a brief medical exam, and memory testing by phone. And with the person to person, that can be delayed until later. We have an optional lumbar puncture and an MRI. You can answer questions about experiences of discrimination or life stressors and coping behaviors. But also, there is a token of appreciation for your time. And the follow up visits are every 2 years. So it is something that is certainly manageable. And when we do go back to in persons, we do provide transportation. As well, what the ADRC does to say thank you to our participants, we offer a Get Moving free online exercise class. It's currently happening right now. So you can go through YouTube or you can go through Facebook and just type in Venus Inspires and you can connect on with us and be doing some exercise classes uh, while we're all um, fighting COVID-19. And Venus has designed these exercise classes, especially for people that are 40 and older. Other ways that we can be helpful to you is that we recently just got through um, having a drive-through resource fair on last Saturday, a week ago last Saturday. And what we did was hand out masks and gel and face shields and books from the library. And we did this in partnership with a lot of other organizations. But the point is that Wisconsin ADRC cares about you. We thank you for being a participant in our research. But as well, we want to give back to our community, and we do that through a variety of programs. So again, my invitation is to ask people to please join us in our research as long as you're 40 years old. Um, we would be interested in having you participate. No matter what your concerns are, we would put you into the right study, and this could be done by telephone. So thank you, Bonnie, for including information about my contact. Other members of the team that works with underrepresented groups is Mr. Ed Murray, and he works with African American men. We also have Venus Washington, who's our exercise instructor, but who is also our COVID social. She gives social information about COVID, and she's representing um, the community and getting quick facts and accurate facts to people. And as well, we have a research team in Oneida on the Oneida Reservation. So thank you very much. And please don't hesitate to contact me if there are any other questions or concerns.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fabu. And I did also put the information about Venus's Get Moving class there's a link in the chat. Please give a round of applause for our panelists. Such great work everybody is doing to support families. And as other people said, it's great to see everyone come together. And we'll turn it back over to you, Binta.